नमस्कार, हम प्रोफेसर नागेंद्र आज लेकर फिर आ गए हैं हिंदुस्तान हॉटलाइन न्यूज चैनल की तरफ से बहुत ही एक एक्सपर्ट टॉक जो दैट इज द नीड्स ऑफ द प्रेजेंट आवर. First of all, we greets to our countrymen on the occasion of Tsunami, and after that we will talk about the yoga and nuclear disaster, nuclear crisis. So, on enlighten on this particular topic, we have panel of experts. So I extend to the session to Amit Chaudhary sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nagendra ji. Before I move ahead, we will start with a prayer. To start the prayer, our Guruji, Dr. HR Nagendra is with us. So, Guruji, please start the prayer. Then we will continue the session.
Yes.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's all work together harmoniously with love and affection, and let us generate synergy among all of us together, and let us have no enmities between one another, and let us have peace inside, peace outside, peace throughout the universe. That's the meaning of that beautiful Veda mantra.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Guruji, to start with the blessings and the shloka. So first of all, very warm greetings to all of you who are spending their precious time with us on this auspicious occasion of Ram Navami. And we are enough blessed that on this auspicious occasion of celebration of a power, we have joined together to discuss about one of the most important source of energy, that is the nuclear energy on Earth, and to discuss about the boon and bane, and not only the boon and bane, but also about the management, about the solution managements for this nuclear energy. To discuss this, we have a very distinguished panel of experts today from the different of the domains of nuclear engineering, thereafter the aero and science engineering, the life scientists, and the world acclaimed yoga guru himself, Dr. HR Nagendra is with us. I know that you are very eager to hear about the subject and to know that how yoga and the nuclear energy, that's a completely apart subject, almost a 180-degree subject, how they can be together solve the issue of the bane of this nuclear crisis. The nuclear energy is there. It is a very good, that is a source of a power, but all of us know that if it is not managed well, how disastrous it could be. Either it could be accidentally or it could be incidentally. Either it could be by any of natural disasters or natural calamities, or by any means of a man-made kind of a crisis. Anything it could be. Or at the end of the all, it is also to supervise the ego of certain of the world leader might be that nuclear attacks we have seen that has happened once, and how disaster it has been for the people of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So to discuss all these things today, we have the experts, and we will be discussing together that how the yoga can be a management solution for the post-nuclear leakage crisis and the attack scenarios. So I won't be being a wall between you and the speakers and the distinguished speakers today. So because we have the masters today of this domain. So let me quickly greet all of our experts today on behalf of all the people who have joined together to discuss this subject. So let me first pay my respects and greet to the world acclaimed yoga guru, Dr. HR Nagendra first. The Dr. Nagendra is Padma Shri and Yoga Shri by Ministry of Ayush and Padma Shri by Government of India. He is Chancellor of Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Sansthan University, and he has served in many of the scientific domains before joining as a Vice Chancellor and Chancellors of Svyasa Yoga University. So he has served in the capacity of the scientific positions, and by profession earlier he was mechanical engineer. So before we proceed the talks, let me have the first blessings of Guruji first. We call him affectionately Guruji, and all of you must be knowing it. So let me first have the blessings of Guruji first into this talk, and he will be throwing us the light on about how yoga can be a possible solution for this. Guruji, the stage is yours. Let us guide into the subject and kindly bless us.
Thank you very much, Amit ji. I'm very happy to be part of this seminar on this very auspicious day of Sri Ramanavami. And we worship Sri Rama for having created an ideal social order in the country. So the Ayodhya is coming up, thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister, to be one of the finest areas where Sri Rama lived and built up this thing. So we are in an era where the possibility of a nuclear attack is a possibility. Russia invading Ukraine. In fact, they attacked to some extent the nuclear building, and fortunately it did not spoil the nuclear reactor, and the Russians took over that area so that no disaster will come back. So according to the news, there has not been any nuclear radiation leak from the nuclear reactor. But we remember that two main nuclear reactors which got burst and then had the nuclear leakage, one in Japan, another in Ukraine. And then we also know the hazards of such radiation hazards coming out of the nuclear reactors. So in Japan, when this happened, we have been working in Japan for 30 years on various aspects of yoga. And we have trained 3,000 yoga teachers and 2,000 yoga therapists. They all rushed into that area to serve the people there, to combat and prevent the possible nuclear leakage into various areas. I was so happy that the 90% of the people, apart from the government, who came forward voluntarily to deal with this nuclear leakage, and all these people worked day and night to do their best to see that the people around who were suffering are taken care of, and they did their best to see that the whole system will come back to normalcy. You know, it's a big trauma for the people and around, and then post-traumatic problems are incumbent. Therefore, they used their yoga techniques to calm down their mind, to reduce the post-trauma, post-nuclear leakage trauma that would have spread tremendously beyond hope. Similarly, the tsunami in Andaman Nicobar, we have witnessed the post-tsunami trauma, which has caused hazards, were effectively dealt with by large number of yoga teachers who were trained in this thing. Of course, we had not developed to that extent when the Ukraine nuclear disaster was there. But what is the role of yoga when such hazardous radiation spread around? Nuclear leakage. Always, Amrit Narayan Pandey has been talking about these things right from when he was there in Kalpakkam and thinking how we should be able to prevent such a thing to happen, first of all, and then by an accident, by willingly or unwillingly, as Amit told, if that happens, what can we do about it? So in Kalpakkam, we had the radiation hazard testing. When the people go into the nuclear area, when they come back, people find out how much of nuclear radiation has affected their body. There is a good infrared tester. We try to find out the intensity of the radiation that could have been affected the people. If it is beyond certain level, then they are not allowed to go back again to the nuclear reactor and they are treated separately. So by using this infrared technology, the radiation quantum that affects the body can be tracked. Then if there is a hazard that has come, then our friends started giving them the yoga practice and see that their radiation hazard is reduced. The effect of such radiation exposure could be nullified. Our Dr. Svyasa, who is there in Kalpakkam, has been one of the persons. He used the Pranic Energisation Technique to see how best this pranic field around the body can be dealt with. As you know, the IR camera catches the things which are beyond the body by using the infrared radiation, and that in a sense is called as the pranamaya kosha, the pranic body. And when there's an accumulation of the radiation that comes up, then the pranic field will get disturbed. Now we have better technologies like BioWell based on the Kirlian photography, by which you'll be able to make out what is happening in the pranamaya kosha with greater detail. Every organ and system can be shown to go into an imbalance, and the quantum of imbalance can also be measured today. This is what we do here. And when the radiation starts coming up, it starts affecting different cells and genes and several other things, and it is going to probably bring imbalance in the pranamaya kosha. In pranamaya kosha, I have prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana, the 5 aspects, subtle aspects of the prana, the bioplasmic energy, you can see. So that can be remedied by using the techniques of yoga that we have developed here, called the PET, Pranic Energization Technique. In PET, what we do is first we learn how to recognize the imbalances. We first take the BioWell data, we know which organ is most affected, how much is the quantum of imbalance that it has created. All these things can be measured today, thanks to high-end technology. Earlier, we did not have these things. When we started doing that work, we took some of the things with IR camera, that data that we took, and then we gave them some yoga practice. And Srinivasa was able to show that yes, these people who had little more exposure than normal were able to come back to normalcy using the yoga technique. What is the way which the yoga works there? It works bringing balance in the pranic field. The radiation brings imbalance in the pranic field, the subtle field, the infrared field, in a sense you can say. And that has to be reverted back to normalcy. So for that we have developed this technique called PET, Pranic Energisation Technique. And this is the one that helps to bring the normalcy by bringing the balance in the pranamaya kosha. So now we are continuing this aspect of bringing balance in the pranamaya kosha by using the BioWell. In our Arogadama, when the people come, we take the data before, And depending on the disease, there are large imbalances that are there based on the different diseases. Similarly, today's talk of the nuclear leak, if a leaking nuclear leakage takes place, then the radiation is going to come forth, and the thing that happens is it starts hitting our mind by sort of fear, anxiety, and concern and other thing and hustling. Then it start working at the pranamaya kosha, which brings big imbalances in all 5 pranas, which govern our physiological function. And then it start percolating down to the body and can cause imbalances in different organs and systems in the body. Gene expressions may get altered. All these things can take place. And therefore, yoga first starts working at the pranamaya kosha, and we have the remedies for that. The best solution is the pranayama, in which we slow down the breath and see that the system comes to a balance. The immune system is the other one which gets affected drastically by possible nuclear reactions, nuclear radiations that may come up, and we'll be able to remedy them. We all know in cancer, we use the radiation, that is essentially X-ray radiation. And the nuclear radiation is still stronger. After the X-ray, we have the gamma rays. Nowadays, people have started using the gamma rays for detecting and dealing with the cancer solution to kill the cancer cells. And nuclear radiations is still sharper and more powerful, more intense, and therefore it can affect the whole body. And this has to be brought back to normalcy. And that is how we use the yoga dimension. So these are some of the thoughts, but these are all only in the conjectural way and with some pilot studies that we have done. But if you have to do that, then we have to have randomized control trials and exacting solutions which can be going into the publishable things. We hope that we will not have that opportunity of getting the patients who are exposed to nuclear leaks. And we are hopeful that the present war is going to soon stop, and we'll have peace in Russia, Ukraine, and at least the nuclear disaster can be prevented. And with those few words, then I will leave the panel to bring about their points of view and see how we'll be able to deal with nuclear leak if it happens. Thank you all very much for your patient hearing, and thanks Amit ji and Nagendra Narayan, Amrendra Narayan, and Brijmarsh Mishra ji for participating in this panel. Namaskar, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Guruji, for throwing us enough light on the topic specifically and giving your first-hand experience on in the different of our countries like Japan and all the which we have given about the crisis situations and how yoga has been meaningful for the solutions of them. Definitely, yoga is not all about the physical things that we do. There are the levels, and Ashtanga yoga, as you told, so that is the very much useful for the combating of such things.